In Japan, there is a game series that has had moderately decent success, and to this day, they still keep releasing games, but it only saw the light in America and Europe for a limited period of time. Perhaps you have seen it, have a vague memory of its characters, or have never had any contact with it at all. That series is Medabots. Many of these games have been released on most of Nintendo's portables in Japan, and only a few have seen the light in our continents. Some also began to be made on home consoles, but this is the only one that came out in the West for a home console. That game is Medabots Infinity. This is a game created by Victor Interactive in 2003, which was later absorbed by Marvelous Entertainment and published by Natsom. It follows the basic premise of the series, giving a kid a robot arm to the teeth that fights against other robots, and the loser must give up a part called a Medapart. With these, you can assemble other robots or equip them to one robot to give it different attributes. It is an RPG where we level them up, adapted with mild violence for a general audience. However, Medabots Infinity is a spin-off that slightly breaks these mechanics. It all begins with Iki, a boy who has a Medabot named Medabot. They have been the protagonists of the series. They go to a park called Toru Toru Land, where there are several challenges in which contestants can duel and earn points to win big prizes. But this place is going through several problems, as many contestants have disappeared, and it is suspected that the Rubber Robo gang has a hand in these actions. So we must solve the mystery and, along the way, win those prizes that our characters long for. The game is a spin-off, as I said, which deviates a bit from the original formula of the series, which is an RPG. Personally, I would define this type of Pokemon-like game, where we lead a group of creatures that we must train and level up through battles as training RPGs. In this game, that principle is somewhat changed, because each attraction is a labyrinth where we have to solve certain puzzles to open doors and continue until we reach the final stage, which normally focuses on fighting a Medabot. So we need to look at it from two stages. The first stage, the labyrinth, fulfills its function quite well, as it is very easy to get lost in the intricate scenarios. We have to step on switches to open doors and thus reach the end, while different traps hinder us. Rolling stones, cliffs, tiles that alter your status or hurt you. The most dangerous ones are the small guardians, robots with hammers that approach to hit you, immobile turrets that shoot in certain directions or at you, and deep water sections, the most dangerous because they are lethal when touched unless you have the right legs. To get through these scenes, we must equip our robot with different metaparts, 2 arms, legs, and a head. This mechanic makes the game interesting because you can put any of the parts we have obtained onto your robot. Legs allow us to run, have better movement control, swim, fly, or jump. This is very useful because some parts of the stage will be blocked unless you have the necessary equipment to access them. Arms have different forms of attack, ranged shots, close-range punches, flamethrowers, etc. This allows us to defend ourselves from robots and break some obstacles. The head has the strongest attacks, but a limited number of uses. Each part has its own health bar, which decreases as they are hit. When it reaches 0, that part becomes unusable. If the head suffers the same fate, no matter if the rest is in optimal condition, you automatically lose. There is no way to recover health unless a part has that function, so we must be very careful during our journey. However, we can put up defense to prevent our health from dropping too much. Fights against other Medabots are confrontations with a similar system. We face off in one-on-one battles. Our objective is to defeat them with our weaponry and use the stage to gain a tactical advantage. There will also be water sections, ravines, different traps, and enemies that are there to make the fight harder for both. In these moments, we can charge energy to accumulate it and use Metaforce, which is the power that the metal grants to the robot and allows it to have a personality and functionality. This power has different capabilities and recharges whenever you want by pressing A and Y at the same time, but while using it, you are vulnerable to attacks. After defeating your opponent, they will give you one of their meta parts at random, making these fights the most important for assembling your mechanical friend. There are a total of 45 different robots, divided between a female and male metallic skeleton called Tin Pet, which is the frame onto which the other parts are mounted. They can be adapted to whichever skeleton you want, as long as it matches the gender. This allows you to customize your robot in a fairly large number of possibilities. We obtain pieces in the scenarios or in fights against other enemies. To get the pieces we are missing, we can return to the scenario and reach the end again. Medals and other skeletons are given to us as the story continues. Each part has different attributes and its own stats, such as strength, attack speed, and defense. Each scenario has a rating that we must obtain by performing different actions, such as finding number points hidden in pots or enemies, defeating enemies, destroying their parts, and finishing them within a certain time. This might seem like just a score, since each scenario has a ranking table, but it is also the experience that your robot's medal gains. This allows it to level up and helps the different parts have higher stats. Additionally, hidden, usually in sections we cannot access without the right parts, are meta parts and, on rare occasions, colored pots that, when delivered, unlock other levels. It is worth noting that when you obtain them, you're forced to finish the level, because if you lose or leave without completing it, they will disappear and must be picked up again. The game has a battle function, either against the computer or against another person, where you assemble your opponents with different parts and fight on any stage. It is worth noting that the game in this aspect is very fun, as the stage and the different abilities make it enjoyable. The game has connectivity with the Game Boy Advance, and through it, we can use previous Medabots games on that portable, i.e. Medabots Gold and Silver, to unlock Medabot parts that can only be obtained this way. Overall, the game has a good side and a tedious side. The good side is that the labyrinths and fights against other robots adapt quite well to how you choose to configure your fighter. But the tedious side, unfortunately, falls on the labyrinth part, which is also what could be considered a novelty in the series. At times it feels boring and repetitive because you have to go through the same places many times to progress. Added to that is that it is very easy to die. I don't know if it's just me or the game itself, but most of the hits I receive lower the head's health, and with any carelessness you die and have to redo the steps you took. Meanwhile, on the main map, it is very easy to get lost. That is, not knowing where to go to continue the story, and you will spend time wandering aimlessly until you find it. This happens especially when the story remembers it has villains and includes them. I would recommend it to all fans of the cartoon and the series, as the battles are quite entertaining, even though some attacks are very powerful and you might win in a few seconds if they connect properly. Moving around the field while another opponent chases you is very entertaining and strategic, as it invites you to take your time to calculate, attack, or retreat at will, since battles are not turn-based. Especially for those who like these types of training RPGs, because with the different pieces, you can customize your Medabot as you like and in the way that suits you best. I would not recommend it because of its story. It is somewhat boring and falls into many cliches that are not very well used. Besides, it is predictable, and I feel it is more of an excuse to put all the characters from the series in. The scenarios, as I said before, feel forced and become frustrating after a short while. The variety of enemies is null, which becomes tedious. Attacking can be somewhat luck-based, because many attacks will not hit the enemies even when you would swear they were aimed at them. And perhaps most importantly, it presents a series of bugs, such as enemies getting stuck, or in the worst case, you getting stuck and being thrown out of the map for no reason. But personally, I feel that if the labyrinths were better polished, the game would be much better. Although Medabots Infinity feels like a product they put out without refinement, it's not that bad and can be entertaining. And as I said, it has the virtue that you can customize your robot to your liking, which is a hallmark of this series. It is somewhat difficult to get because it came out when the series was ending in the West, but in Japan they're still releasing games like these, and hopefully one day they will see the light over here. Anyway, that is Medabots Infinity. I hope you liked the video. If you did, hit like. If you know someone who might like it, share on your social networks, and don't forget to subscribe if you like the channel. If you have any questions, suggestions, or just want to comment something, don't hesitate to do so in the comments box. Also, if you're a big fan of this channel, hit the notification bell to be among the first to see the videos. Thank you very much for watching this video. See you later. Bye-bye.